In this video, we're going to be talking about creating a curated local newsletter. Now, there are different types of local newsletters that you can create, and we talked about different ones on this channel already, so go check out those videos. But a curated newsletter is a great option for those of you out there that want to start a side hustle but aren't that familiar with making money online, and you don't want to overcomplicate things. For example, you don't want to create a load of original content. Now, you can use very simple AI tools in order to curate the information for you, which means that you don't have to spend tons and tons of time finding the information. So curated newsletter is where you go out, you find out what is happening in the local area, and you put that into your newsletter. Now, a lot of the time, you're just putting a little bit of information and then you're linking out to other websites and other articles. Now, there's a few things you want to make sure you're doing in order to make sure you keep getting people to come back and keep reading your newsletter. And we can talk about that in a future video. But in this one, I want to talk to you a little bit about how to go ahead and start a curated newsletter, and also how you're going to make money from it as well. So the first thing you want to consider when you are starting a curated newsletter is your location. Now, we do have a video on this channel which is all about helping you find the location. I'll leave a link to that one at the end of this video, and how to decide what is the best location for you to target. But once you have done that, once you have your niche picked out, the next thing you're going to want to do is think about what you want to put into the newsletter. Now, I would go out there and see what other newsletters are doing, what your competitors are doing. They don't have to be exactly in your area. But there are different things that you could focus on. So you could curate local news, you could curate events, food and what restaurants are doing. You can focus on entertainment deals, and you can put all of these into a newsletter. Now, we don't want this to be too long. So for example, if you want to cover all of that, you might go for an increased cadence, you might go for daily, or you might take the best of what's going on and put it into a weekly newsletter. And again, if you want help on deciding whether you're going to produce a weekly or daily newsletter for your local area, then we have a video on that on this channel as well that you can check out. So once you've got your location, you want to decide what you're going to put in it, and this is going to depend on region. So for example, if you live in a wine region, you might go quite heavily on what's happening in that when it comes to news, when it comes to food, whereas if you live somewhere where a particular type of music is more popular, then you might go more heavily towards the entertainment. Maybe you live somewhere where there's a lot of theatres or big theatre districts. So you really do need to have a look at what's going on in your area and what the people in your area actually want to read about, and what kind of events they want to go to. Sorry. Then we want to think about local partnerships. So what kind of businesses can you collaborate with? Now, we always have a set groups of different types of businesses that we know we want to form relationships with, that we want to collaborate with, and we want eventually for them to become sponsors. But initially, we just want to build these relationships with them. So you want to start thinking about collaborating with businesses, organizations, and other media. It could be influencers, for example. And you want to start doing this in a really natural, organic way on social media. And then what will happen is you'll build those relationships and you can turn those into partnerships as well. But what we're doing is we're finding people out there that are going to provide us with content for our newsletter, and hopefully in the future will also pay to be an advertiser or a sponsor of our newsletter. The next thing you want to be doing is thinking about the visual appeal of your newsletter. People are going to want to open it if they know that it looks good. So this would be thinking about the template you're going to use, getting yourself some user-generated content to put into the newsletter, which is why we always say to people, if possible, start a newsletter in an area that you can get to and you can go to some of these events, and engaging design elements as well. Now, we have our own tools and AI tools that we have built for this. If you'd like to hear more about those on the channel, then just put AI tools into the comments as a phrase, or ask us any questions that you would like. But what we can do is we actually have a template and tools, and we can have a curated newsletter done in under 10 minutes, scheduled, ready to go, which means we have the rest of the week, because the one I'm thinking about is a weekly newsletter, to focus on growth and getting those subscribers. Now, if you're doing this as your 5 to 9 outside of your 9 to 5, then that is a great option, because you just need to find one small time every week where you can sit down and you can get your newsletter written and scheduled, and the rest of the time you can focus on growth, which you can do from your mobile phone, especially if you're doing it on social media. Okay, now if you'd like us to cover more on growing this type of newsletter, then just put growth in the comments, and if we get enough interest, we'll do that for you as well. So once you've got your newsletter written, as I said, you want to focus on growth, because growth is what's going to get you to get your paid sponsors and advertisers, and it's what's going to allow you to charge them more as your list grows as well. So leverage social media and local SEO for growth. Now, SEO tends to be quite a difficult thing, but local SEO is actually very, very easy, because most people don't actually know what they are doing when it comes to local SEO. So this is something that you can outsource, you could pay for. So for example, you could come to a business like ours, we could show you how to do it, or you could just pay somebody to do it, or you can go away and learn it yourself. But SEO tends to be something that people get quite nervous about. It is pretty big, but local SEO is a lot quicker and easier for you to learn. And you can leverage social media for the same reason. Get out there onto social media, share what you are doing, engage, and then build your brand that way. But once you have your newsletter written in 10 minutes and you've spent the rest of your week focusing on growth, and your list is big enough, and it only has to be a few hundred subscribers to get your first few dollars in the door, then you want to explore advertising, sponsorships, and affiliate marketing. Now, the nice thing about affiliate marketing is you can start with that from day one. All you've got to do is find an affiliate link to an offer that local people in your area would enjoy, and therefore put that into your newsletter. And then you want to start building relationships with local businesses, so eventually they can become sponsors and advertisers, starting off potentially offering them slots for free, because then you've got data. You can go to them and say, look, I put you into my newsletter, we got a 50% open rate, we got a 2% click-through rate, you had it for free, now pay us. And then you can sort of see, people can see what they're getting from your newsletter, and then they can pay you for those advertising slots. The other thing you can do with a curated newsletter is you can offer premium content. So as you build these relationships in the local area, people start to know your newsletter and they want to engage with it in terms of getting exposure, then you can offer premium content. So for example, once a month, you could offer a deep dive into a business, a music event, a sporting event, something like that. And that would be exclusive content. So you can either get paid from the business that is wanting that exposure, or you can offer some kind of premium content. So you could put all of this into an email that only paid newsletter subscribers get. So maybe they get discounts on tickets, maybe they get early access to events, whatever it is that you are focusing on within your newsletter, which goes up here. You could build these relationships with businesses and ask them for discounts, early bird offers. Could you get anything like that that you could put in your newsletter, and then people would pay for that access, and they would only pay maybe $5 a month, $2 a month, something like that. But if the offers are good, they're going to keep paying it. And then the last thing you want to do is you want to actually track what is working, because if you're going to have multiple sections within your newsletter, you actually want to track what are people engaging with, what links are they clicking on, what are they reading, so that you can refine your content strategy. Because you might find that people cover all of this, but actually it is just food and entertainment and deals that they're really interested in, and therefore you can do less on the news side and more on this side, which is going to help you with open rates, it's going to help you with click-through rates, and therefore it's going to help you make more money. So as you're building this out, you're always looking at the data in order to make sure that you can tweak things, refine your strategy, get your content right, use the right kind of pictures, use the right kind of drivers in order to get people to sign up and stay opening your newsletters, so that you can make more money. Okay, video here on the screen now if you want to check it out. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next one.